Now, I'm sure that some of you recently have played the hit new game by Toby Fox, Deltarune. And, of course, the game theorists have been trying to make their own connections, but let's be honest, they're definitely overrated, and their use of logic and reasoning and their so-called understanding of how video games work is just not cutting it for me. So I am going to prove to you today the real connection between Deltarune and Undertale. Now, because of how incredibly detailed and complex this relationship is, I'm going to delve right in. We're going to start off this connection by somewhere you might not expect. The name of the game and the fancy little title that it has. When you zoom in on the name, what do you see? That's right. It's the color white. Now, at first glance, the color white might seem very general and unspecific, but what's the first thing that you think of when you see the color white? That's right, it's sands. But what does sands have to do with the connection between Deltarune and Undertale? Well, if you haven't played the game already, Sans does make an appearance in Deltarune. Now, you may say, well, why is Sans even in Deltarune? He isn't important to the story at all. And he isn't. But I think that the reason that Sans is in Deltarune is because the Deltarune game is entirely within Sans' mind. Now, you may say that sounds pretty stupid, and it kind of does, but think about this. In Undertale, you went on a date with Sans. Who else could you have gone on a date with? Papyrus. So, Papyrus, being jealous that he didn't get to go on a date with you, poisons Sans' food. But instead of killing Sans, it actually sends him into a delusional paranoia where he hallucinates an entire world based upon his every whim. In fact, that would explain why Papyrus isn't in the game, because Sans subconsciously knows it was because of Papyrus that he is hallucinating, so he chooses to exclude him from that world. But you may say, why would Papyrus do that to Sans? They're brothers after all. They love each other because they're brothers. But here's the thing. Go back to the Deltarune and Undertale names. This time, if you look even closer than before, down to the tiniest detail, what do you see? That's right, black and white! Toby Fox, I know you're out there getting kind of nervous about this. Black and white. Why would the colors black and white be on the Deltarune title? What do black and white mean? What's the first thing you think of when you think of black and white besides the delicious black and whites, TM, which are not sponsoring this video? No, it's Michael Jackson. Papyrus is Michael Jackson. Why, that's outlandish, you may say. Well, you cannot deny the fact that both Papyrus and Michael Jackson are, in fact, dead. Toby Fox, I bet you're getting real nervous. But I'm sure MatPat and the other game theorists are watching this video and thinking, but you see, Michael Jackson died before Undertale came out, so there's no way he could have known about the workings of this. And this is true, it stumped me quite a lot, until I realized one detail that many people have missed and overlooked. It has been shown in Undertale, and perhaps in Deltarune, that Sans possesses some sort of, power, or at least a mind that can comprehend the fact that there are multiple different realities. In fact, I showed that when he determined that it was in fact Papyrus who had poisoned him within his subconscious while dreaming Deltarune. But then, what if he figured this one thing out based on the detail we are given in Deltarune? That detail being the car. The car just seems so out of place. After all, in all the games, the only way to transport is your feet. Why would there be a car in Deltarune? And then it hit me. Why would Papyrus, aka Michael Jackson, have poisoned Sans? There's only one explanation: the car. Jay Leno convinced Michael Jackson when he died to poison Sans Undertale into hallucinating an entire video game. It may sound crazy, but it's the only possible explanation. Jay Leno is the true culprit. And there you have it, the most plausible explanation the internet has provided on the connection between Deltarune and Undertale. that Sans is actually hallucinating from being poisoned by Papyrus, who was actually Michael Jackson, who was convinced into doing so by Jay Leno. You can't deny it. It's just so crazy. It has to be true. Here's looking at you, game theorists. There's no way you can disprove me.